Rahul Gandhi is in Manipur. This trip comes after his visits to Assam and before that to Hathras and Gujarat over the weekend. I'm Barkha Dutt. You're with the Mojo Story. On the program today, we're looking at these images that are coming out of Manipur and Assam. Very, very moving images in strife-torn Manipur especially, which has, many people point out, been effectively partitioned between the Meitei-dominated areas and the Kuki-dominated areas for over a year now. Clearly, as Rahul Gandhi makes compassion and emotional outreach the cornerstone of his new role as leader of the opposition, the Congress is asking the Prime Minister when he intends to go to Manipur. But beyond Manipur, there are political questions as well. Rahul Gandhi is in a brand new role. Earlier, he was mocked for frequent personal vacations, for example. That luxury is not available to him anymore. He has to be a 24/7 politician. You can see him there meeting with students in connection with the NEET exam. The question now is this: as Rahul Gandhi becomes quite effectively the face of the opposition nationally, the man who's going to take on the Prime Minister, we'll be speaking to Neerja Chowdhury today as we decode the new brand of Rahul Gandhi. Ideologically, where will he come from? Will it be left, right, or center? There are those commentators like Ajaz Ashraf who say that Rahul Gandhi is seeking to occupy what he calls the Hindu left space to counter the Hindu right space. Is that how Neerja sees it? Let's welcome our guest to the program today. Neerja Chowdhury is with us. She's a veteran journalist, a columnist, an author, and a student of politics over many, many decades. Neerja, it's always a pleasure to talk to you and to learn from you. Let's start by talking about the last 3 or 4 days that Rahul Gandhi has spent. Today, he's in Manipur. It's not the first time he's gone there. I think he's gone a couple of times before. But the Congress has used this opportunity, as we see the images out of Manipur, to basically say to the Prime Minister, where are you? When are you going to Manipur? Emotional outreach. He seems to be continuing with his Mohammed ki dukan sort of metaphor as the centerpiece of his politics, almost offering a kind of softer, feminine alternative to Modi's muscular sort of nationalism, a younger alternative, if you will. What do you make of how Rahul Gandhi has spent the last few days meeting with students connected to NEET, going to Hathras, meeting with stampede victims there, going to Assam to meet people affected by floods, going to Manipur now to meet people living in relief camps because of the violence?
Yes, and Barkha, he went to Gujarat soon after a combative speech in Parliament. It's like putting your hand in the lion's den and telling your workers, addressing them, that we will win Gujarat. Now, that was a note to strike, Gujarat being the laboratory of Hindutva, Gujarat being the home of the Prime Minister and the Home Minister, and which is stuck with the BJP all through. So to give that kind of a clarion call to enthuse his workers, I think was a very interesting move that he made. And of course, as you say, hard-hitting, fiery, combative, contentious speech in Parliament, taking on the Prime Minister and the BJP frontally. After that, going to Hathras, Manipur, as you say, the emotional touch, the healing touch, continuation of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, Mohabbat Ki Dukan, those kind of notes. And Manipur is particularly evocative because the Prime Minister, though he did speak for 5 minutes, he referred to Manipur, it was too little too late. And the importance of Manipur has not been lost even on the RSS, with the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat referring to Manipur. And that's a very unusual. Of course, he took on the Prime Minister without naming him and talked about arrogance of the Sevak and Maryada of the campaign, etc. But Manipur, the note on Manipur was a very important note because the RSS has worked in the Northeast for many, many decades. Arunachal, of course, maybe not so much in Manipur, but they realize the significance of Manipur for India, its unity, its sovereignty, placed as it is in the northeast of India, surrounded by the countries that it is surrounded by. And has Manipur, gone beyond recovery? A lot of people are worried about that. So what was needed in Parliament this time was a healing touch from the Prime Minister, was reach out to the Manipuris. Yes, okay, let bygones be bygones. Now we are going to stand with you, and this we will do. And for that kind of note not to come from the Prime Minister, though he did refer to Manipur this time, but Rahul Gandhi to take off for Manipur and stand with the people of Manipur, it is significant. It is significant.
Now, I'll come to Manipur, where Rahul Gandhi is right now meeting with members of both communities. But you made a reference to Gujarat, and that was particularly interesting to me as well. And I'm going to play out the statement that Rahul Gandhi made. He made a comment saying, just like we won Ayodhya and nobody thought we could, the next election is going to be very different in Gujarat. Take a look.
अब आपको डरना नहीं है, डराना नहीं है. इन्होंने हमारे ऑफिस पे धमकाकर, ऑफिस को तोड़कर हमें चैलेंज दिया है. चैलेंज क्या है? गुजरात के चुनाव में मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, हम सब मिलकर इनको गुजरात में हराने जा रहे हैं. जो हमने कहा, और लिख के ले लो कांग्रेस पार्टी की जो आत्मा है वो गुजरात के चुनाव में लड़ेगी, और नरेंद्र मोदी और बीजेपी को गुजरात में जैसे हमने अयोध्या में हराया है वैसे ही हम गुजरात में इनको हराने जा रहे हैं. कौन हराएगा? हमारे लीडर हराएंगे, हमारे बब्बर शेठ टाइगर हराएंगे.
Now, Neerja, while of course that sounds rhetorically quite powerful, when you look at the numbers of the Lok Sabha results, the fact is that the Congress won one seat, right? And that is also because of a very, very powerful, very popular, self-made tribal female leader. When Rahul Gandhi says Gujarat is going to be like Ayodhya, Ayodhya is one constituency in Uttar Pradesh, right? What do you make of what he said in Gujarat, as you called it, reaching out, putting his hand in the lion's den? But how literally should we take those claims there?
Look, I think, as I said, that he's trying to enthuse his worker. And without that, no battle is won. And he's used this opportunity that's come his way as leader of the opposition to go to the state and give a frontal challenge. Now, absolutely, I agree with you. One should not overread things. And it's very easy to get carried away. But it is also true, Barkha, two things I want to say here, that just as the rise of Narendra Modi in the last 10 years represented a changing mood of India at the ground level, the changes that were taking place at the ground level, he represented that. So also there is a changing mood in the country, parts of the country, I won't say the whole country. There's a changing mood in parts of the country, and Rahul Gandhi, is he beginning to represent that? He's certainly being seen with new eyes. Number one. Number two, as some people have said, the elections have put more oxygen into the system. And of course, Rahul Gandhi talked about not being fearful, and other opposition leaders have talked very frontally about all this. But yes, that the democratic space has got opened up was borne out by the fact that the leader of the opposition spoke for an hour and a quarter in Parliament, and the entire ruling side heard him. They could have walked out also. They did not walk out. Of course, 9 ministers intervened. The Prime Minister had to intervene twice, and much is being made by the Congress of all that. But they heard him out, because the leader of the opposition, which the Congress today holds, is LOP in a parliamentary democracy. He holds cabinet rank. He is on committees to decide your CVC, your CBI, and other posts, constitutional positions. when the visiting dignitaries visit India, they will call on the LOP. So it is an institution, and we know that, you and I know that the people of India in 2024 have not only elected the government they want, they have also elected the opposition they wanted. And Rahul Gandhi realizes today he's playing to that strength, to that gallery. But that, I agree, does not mean that the battle is over. He's still at 99, and the Prime Minister is right to remind him of that. He has a long way to go. The Congress has a long way to go. And I suspect, where a pitfall may come, that he may get carried away too soon with his success. I fear that.
Do you see signs of that right now?
Yes, because yesterday to make the statement that we've defeated the Ram Mandir movement. I don't think it is to fully understand what the mood is, or the Ram Mandir movement, or what the Hindus feel. He has frontally taken on Hindutva as a political ideology on the floor of the House. No doubt about that. Now, I personally would not have used the language he did, but okay, he, as I said, was a very combative speech, and his own constituency, people who voted him in, who view him as an alternative, would like him to speak that language today. It's like 10 saal ki bhras nikal aana. It's a bit of that happening. So, okay. But to say that Hindus are not proud of the Ram Mandir, to say Hindus are not proud of being Hindus, I don't think that's the change of mood. The change of mood is a twofold. One is that enough of Hindu-Muslim conflict. ये Hindu-Muslim बहुत हो गया.
Correct.
बहुत हो गया. हमको साथ साथ रहना. Number one. Second is to use it for political gain, as a political tool. So Ram Mandir did not work as a poll issue. But that doesn't mean people are not happy. That doesn't mean that that movement has to be defeated, or the Congress party has defeated it. I'm only giving you a very small example. And another thing would be, he's the leader of the opposition. I don't know how much in his speech did he consult the leaders of opposition on what he should say. Because if the Congress starts to revive and Rahul Gandhi becomes proactive, which he must at one level, because he has to revive his party. And there is a mood also in the country that would like the Congress to revive as a counter to the BJP. And we saw that, say in Maharashtra, getting 13 seats. When it's the beneficiary of the sympathy for Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar as one of the factors that led to that victory. But people want the Congress to revive. But if the regional allies who are part of India alliance begin to feel that the Congress is going to grow at our expense, and this happens too quickly without things being worked out between them. For instance, in Uttar Pradesh, there are 2027 elections. Of course, they're far away. But unless a understanding is reached with Akhilesh Yadav, okay, UP yours in 27, Delhi ours in 2029. We are not going to, you will have the lion's share of the seat. Things like that to be worked out. These parties are going to get very apprehensive very quickly.
So let me pick up a recent column by Ajaz Ashraf that provocatively makes the point that Rahul Gandhi's Congress today represents the Hindu left, and that the Congress waited a long time for the Hindu center to respond to it. The Hindu center didn't. So Rahul Gandhi has now attempted to create or build this new social base. That's why he talks so much about the caste census and so on. And it worked in containing, not defeating, but containing Modi in 2024. But it's only a matter of time before these local conflicts that you referred to, local competitiveness with regional allies, plays out, because in many ways, they're going to be competing for the same kind of social base. There was a time when the Congress would compete for a different social base, and let's say a Samajwadi Party would compete for a different social base. Today, you're in a situation where the base that the Congress is trying to build for itself, the new base, is very similar to the base of its state allies. So isn't there going to be an inevitable contradiction? And what do you make of this phrase, Gandhi's Congress represents the Hindu left?
look, Rahul Gandhi coming with the picture of Shivji and other, Guru Nanak and other pictures in Parliament, which some people liked and some did not. It's fine. If he wants to give the impression that Shivji for us and Ram for you, if that is their message, or as you point out, a Hindu left that, you're not takedars of Hinduism. Hindu Samaj is not represented by Narendra Modi, BJP, or the RSS, which is what he said in Parliament. Fair enough. A lot of people will say, yes, that's fair enough. But will, this Hindu left, so the lower castes, as well as the Hindu plank, which the BJP cornered for much of its 10 years under Modi, and that is now slipping out of his hand, will Rahul Gandhi become the accepted symbol of that? It's too early to say that. I'm very interested in that question. How have people at the ground level taken this rhetoric of his in Parliament on Hindu, the Hindu lecture that he gave? Many people, of course, the secularists would have said, go for NEET, go for Agniveer, go for Kisan problems, stick to those things and put the government sharply on the mat. Get your facts right and corner them, day after day. But he's chosen to go another route and to fashion an ideological alternative with Hinduism being a base of it. We are as Hindu as you are. Because the country is
but then in Parliament you use this sort of symbolism of Hindu. Even when you speak about the Agniveer issue, you make sure you in this case being Rahul Gandhi, you make sure that Lord Shiva's portrait is right behind you. But then you also say that we have defeated the Ram Mandir movement. In other words, you're equating the aspiration for a Ram Mandir to a BJP movement, which politically it is, but at the level of faith, it's not. Right? So these are two separate things. So isn't this navigation of the position on Hinduism quite contradictory so far?
This is where I find, it is not thought through.
Yeah.
I think it needs greater thinking, the formulation of an ideological alternative to what the BJP has offered the country, say in the last 10 years. Much more thought needs to go in. And even say, for instance, Barkha, forget, you talked about the caste thing. This time in Uttar Pradesh, the Jat moved away, the Rajput sat at home, the Brahmin, a section of the Brahmin, which is the most significant thing happening in UP, if they are shifting away from BJP, and there were indications that they were, for a variety of reasons, and the Dalit moving away, because they thought the constitution would be changed. Now, when the Dalit realizes the constitution is not going to be changed to take away their arakshan, does the Dalit stay with the opposition side? Or even in Maharashtra, where I'm sitting at the moment, the sympathy factor worked in the favor of Mahavikas Aghadi in the Lok Sabha election. But sympathy factor, the expression of sympathy does not happen again and again. Just as expression of anger happens only once. It's also a blast that comes out.
Yeah.
Does it happen with the same kind of potency the next time round? No.
Actually, in a way, the BJP and Rahul will have to grapple with the same thing. In economics, it's called the law of diminishing returns. For the BJP, the discovery is Hindutva, Mandir, Hindu, Muslim, law of diminishing returns. Modi needs a new script. For Rahul, being an antagonist to these politics has got him 99 seats in Lok Sabha. But now what's his narrative? Is his narrative, I'm the soft guy, I'm the metrosexual to Modi's muscular nationalism, I'm the guy who'll always be with the people? Is he the tough guy like he was in Gujarat? We talk a lot about Modi 3.0, but who or what will Rahul 3.0 be? We don't know that either.
Yes, and it's beginning to evolve, but it is not yet clear the direction that evolution is taking. Because of as you say, he's made yesterday on the Mandir movement something. He's brought Shivji's picture, and those posters with him and the Shivji picture are now all over. I believe they were all over Gujarat. They're in different parts of the country going up. So I think the Congress party will have to get clear. And let me say this, another pitfall for Rahul. I don't want to, because Rahul is emerging very well, Barkha. Given the courage he's displayed in the last years, people now say at least this man was consistent in what he was saying. So people are looking at him as an alternative to Modi, a serious alternative to Modi for the first time, I feel. And that's a larger group. His popularity ratings are going up. Younger people are looking at him with new eyes. All that is there. So one doesn't want to pull him down. But Rahul's problem is that he consults very few people within his party and in the opposition, even about what he should say. How should he formulate that? Because it involves each one of those parties. What he will say as leader of the opposition has a bearing on their future trajectory in politics.
Where does Modi calibrate vis-a-vis this? So let's come to Manipur. If we go back to where we started, that Rahul is in Manipur, the Congress has constantly put the BJP on the mat for its handling of Manipur. Even as the Prime Minister left for Russia today, they said, when are you going to go to Manipur? In fact, if we can show that tweet, they had a tweet today where they showed all of the places that Rahul Gandhi had gone to: Manipur, Assam, Karnataka, Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. And they said Modi has not been to any of these places. So there is a kind of, as I said, an emotional outreach or a reaffirmation of them as the voice of ordinary people. How does Modi, who once occupied the space because he was the ordinary person, right? Rahul Gandhi was the one with the silver spoon. Modi was the ordinary person who rose through the ranks. Today, Rahul Gandhi is saying, I am the voice of the ordinary people. It's the Prime Minister who's elite. There's an attempted role reversal by the Congress. How do you see Modi thus far responding to this?
I was very interested in the comment he's supposed to have made a day after the results came out to his ministerial colleagues. And one of them told me this, that he said, we will also run a coalition government successfully. Hum coalition dharma nibhayenge. But when it came to the nitty-gritty, he chose to take the old tough line, business as usual. Yes, very conciliatory to his new allies in the alliance. They're not making any noises. So the way they have worked things out, the understandings forged with whether it's the TDP or Janata Dal U or other parties, they are happy with it for the moment. They have not said anything. They've accepted all the portfolios going to the BJP, the speaker becoming Om Birla becoming the speaker again, and so on. But it is the opposition, a very strident opposition, and you will expect that with the numbers that they have in Parliament today. He's not giving in at all. Now, I sometimes think, suppose the pro tem speaker, K. Suresh, who was the senior most, had been given to the Congress party. Pro tem speaker is a two-day wonder. It's a gesture of goodwill. Suppose even the deputy speaker had been given to the opposition, one of the opposition parties. That's happened in the past, not always, but it has happened in the past. Another goodwill gesture is not going to make much of a difference because the speaker belongs to your camp. Now, I think somewhere he's come to the conclusion that to be tough, or maybe they fear if we give an inch, they will take a mile. The other side, which is possible also given the new situation.
But you are saying in some ways Mr. Modi has not made those small gestures, but there's no telling that if he had, because one thing the BJP will say is, look, we all heard Rahul Gandhi's speech. Rahul Gandhi and the opposition shouted the Prime Minister down. There's an example. We were reconciliatory. The opposition was not.
That they have a point there, Barkha.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister is the Prime Minister of India. He's your Prime Minister, my Prime Minister. Even with 240 BJP seats, he is in a majority. And he needs to be respected. He deserves that respect. I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
And also the kind of language in Parliament, maybe I'm old school. I feel there has to be restraint. You can be very sharp. We've seen good debates, cut and thrust of debates, humor, witticism, sharpness. holding them to account. We've seen that in past decades. You don't have to be insulting or bring it to a level which is not called for either side. I would say the Prime Minister also, during the campaign, the kind of language that he used, about the minority community, for instance, people didn't like it, and that's why they've got the numbers they have.
I agree with you on both your points. Let's take a couple of comments from our audience stream. Prasad says, Barkha, I still feel Rahul bringing back religion into the political discourse is giving away the advantage back to the BJP. Even if people felt that religion in politics is a thing of the past, it's not. It was clearly a high-risk gamble that Rahul took, when he held up all those posters. Now what he's saying about Ram Mandir. There was a time in the campaign when you couldn't get an opposition leader to talk about religion. You couldn't even get them to give enough tickets to Muslims. They seem to have shed that defensiveness, but without clarity on what their ideological positioning is.
That's a very interesting question. That's a question on which opinion on the opposition side is divided. There are people who felt very unhappy that those religious figures were brought into parliament. Today, Rahul brings Shivji's picture. Tomorrow, somebody else will bring Lord Ram's picture. Today after, somebody else will bring somebody else's picture. And you will say, how does it matter? It's unusual, unprecedented. How does it matter? At one level, okay, it doesn't matter to ordinary people. So that is one view, people who are unhappy about the consequences of doing something, to the consequences of messaging in that fashion. There are other ways of messaging. And there are those who feel, no, this is a space we occupy. Rahul is as much a Hindu as Narendra Modi, and he stated it very forthrightly. So there are two opinions, no doubt about that. But yes, there is a point in that you are fighting on what has so far been the BJP's turf.
Yeah.
Instead of taking the narrative of making your point, yes, I am a Hindu, as much a Hindu, but moving away from there, moving onwards from there to what are the issues, NEET. I would have thought NEET was the burning issue, 23-24 lakh youth affected.
Yeah.
And young people are the constituency that is looking at the Congress, at Rahul Gandhi particularly today. That was the issue to go for. Completely, not let the government get away with an inch.
So you think you are saying if you were in Rahul Gandhi's shoes, you would have gone all out on NEET?
Yes.
And as opposed to kind of tinkering with where to place religion in politics.
Absolutely. There's another place. There's another forum for it. In any case, this debate has, panned out in the just held elections. There was enough of this being done.
Yeah.
And the country's come to a conclusion. The country's given a mandate. And certainly young people and NEET, I would have, as the first speech by the leader of the opposition, should have figured. And as I said, having done his homework on facts and figures, I think not allowed the government to get away on NEET as they have done so far.
Yeah, because now the ball is in the Supreme Court's sort of chambers, and now it's less the government that is accountable, and it's become more a legal case rather than a political case.
That's
so
right.
You make an interesting point, but let's for a moment look at what he's trying to do. There is a pattern. I don't know where the religion fits into that pattern, but the pattern is Agniveer, NEET, flood victims, stampede victims, violence victims. I am your voice. He's doing a we the people, to borrow my old show's name. He's saying, we the people, I'm with you. And that is his positioning. Whether that's the positioning that will run through if he ever does win power, whether that is what state governments, whether Congress is in power, represent, is a different debate. But that is certainly the optic that he is seeking to build on. Is it working?
Yes, I think at one level, Barkha, after his Bharat Jodo Yatra, and that Bharat Jodo Yatra was its Mohabbat Ki Dukaan. And that was the one thing that was done by Rahul Gandhi, not as Rahul himself not as a member of the Nehru Gandhi family and an entitled individual. People saw it. He walked 4,000 kilometers on his feet. It was his achievement. And then on the way, embracing people, picking up children, old women, and exactly what he's continuing to do. The images that are coming now from Hathras, images that are coming from Manipur. And Manipur is an issue that the Congress has raised in the last 1 year repeatedly. That is Congress's achievement. Putting the Prime Minister on the mat, the BJP on the mat on that issue is the Congress's achievement. And if I was a Manipuri, I would say, no, I don't want to break away. I know I've been treated very badly and this is what I've suffered, but I would want to stay with India because there are big groups of people who stand by me. So they have put, they have brought that kind of healing or trying to bring that kind of healing, but much more needs to be done. Now, I don't know whether leader of the opposition can take a group to Manipur of MPs, other eminent citizens.
Interesting thought, yeah.
But new initiatives, if the government doesn't do it, maybe the government will also be, if the LOP takes an initiative, the government may have to come on board. But a new initiative needs to be taken to reach out to the people of Manipur who've suffered enough during the last year.
Yeah.
And that is reaching out to the northeast of India also.
But, when we come to hard numbers, Neerja, just in conclusion, if you look at the column written by Chidambaram, senior Congress leader in the Indian Express, he reminds his own party of how much work there is to be done, of how many seats actually the Congress didn't even contest because it had to cede those seats to its allies. Again, just quoting from Ajaz Ashraf's point about the Congress being now Hindu left. He says the Congress's vote share in Madhya Pradesh was 27% behind the BJP's. 11.6% behind the BJP in Chhattisgarh, 11% in Rajasthan, 30.5% in Gujarat. If we were to turn our attention back just to the Gujarat numbers where he's made this big speech with one seat, people would say that, when you say, Neerja, that, the mood of the country, the changing mood of the country is being reflected in Rahul's statement, the numbers don't factually bear that out. The numbers don't factually bear that out. The numbers talk about, they talk about a restraining of Modi's power more than they represent a kind of national vote for Rahul or a national thumbs up for Rahul.
No, if I've given that impression that it's a national thumbs up for Rahul at 99 seats, it is not. Mm-hmm. They have a long way to go. But there are sections in India today, there are states in India today that are looking at him, are liking what he, the kind of opposition leader, the kind of issues he's trying to flag. But yes, there are states in India where BJP has retained its saturation point. Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, Himachal, Delhi. We know it. Bihar, they didn't do well. They do well in UP, Eastern UP tip, and Bihar, Western Bihar, which is the same as Eastern UP, behaves very differently. So I agree with you. We need to do a deeper analysis. Not that entire India has rejected Narendra Modi. No. There have been sections in India that have wanted to chasten Modi and not have him, not give him runaway power, unbridled power to rule. They wanted to rein him in. And that they have managed to do. And they wanted the opposition to play a frontal role. This doesn't mean that it's a defeat for Modi or a victory for the opposition. Absolutely not. I agree with you. When we are analyzing Rahul in that sense, we are analyzing him within that context. I want to make that absolutely plain. And the country wants Modi to rule. Otherwise, they wouldn't have given 240 seats.
Yeah.
And 293 with... but want him to rule maybe differently from the way he's ruled in the last 10 years.
Let's talk in the end about the rest of the opposition. Rahul is not the leader of the Congress. He is, as you mentioned, the leader of the opposition. So far, that relationship is still in its honeymoon period. And it will be in its honeymoon period till state elections come and it's back to the negotiating table. Sanjay Raut made a very interesting statement, Maharashtra leader, you're in Mumbai right now, saying if we had named Rahul Gandhi as the prime ministerial candidate, we may have even done better. The point is, nothing succeeds like success. Now that the opposition is full of energy, today they can see this. Earlier, they did not name a candidate for prime minister because they didn't want it to be a presidential battle. Now they're itching to make it one, right? So what happens to the dynamics between the Congress and the other opposition parties?
I think that is the central question, Barkha. How does the Congress and its leader Rahul Gandhi, the leader of the opposition, lead not just the Congress party alone, but leads the entire opposition? Will it be the big brother again? Or will the opposition as a whole be the primary concern of the Congress party, not just the Congress alone? Much will, you see, the victory in UP is not because of Congress party. Let's be very honest. The victory in UP was because of Akhilesh Yadav, his party.
Yeah.
The victory in West Bengal is not because of Rahul Gandhi. That's a chunk of numbers. The victory in Tamil Nadu, where they were in alliance with the DMK, is essentially because of DMK. And in Maharashtra, though the Congress emerged as the largest party, Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar's groups and these leaders had much to do with the victory of the Congress party. So to say it's because of Rahul is to overdo it, to overread the situation. And therefore, the victory is of the entire opposition. Yes, Rahul Gandhi as the LOP will have to give a new lead in parliament and outside. The sensitivity, the statesmanship with which he does it, everything will depend on that. And if I say this again and again and again, Barkha, will he go in for a consultative process for which Rahul Gandhi is not known? So far not known. He has evolved over the years, no doubt about it. He's much more confident. Look at the way he in parliament answered dealt with the speaker, dealt with the BJP side. There was thinking on his feet. It's a very different Rahul, say, from 10 years ago or 5 years ago. No doubt about it. But essentially consulting people and not just Rahul deciding on his own or expecting his tweet to become the policy of the Congress party and of the entire opposition.
But let me flip the question around. You said in Uttar Pradesh the victory was because of Samajwadi Party. In Bengal it was because of Mamata Banerjee. In Tamil Nadu it was because of the DMK. Now in Tamil Nadu, whether or not the Congress anchored the DMK would have won. In Bengal, whether or not the Congress anchored Mamata Banerjee, Mamata would have won. But in UP, just a question, did the Samajwadi Party need the Congress?
Samajwadi Party needed the Congress insofar as it consolidated the votes of the entire Muslim community who voted for the alliance as one man, as one person, one woman or one man.
Yeah.
Or the Dalits also, Barkha. Had it not been for the alliance, the Dalits may not have shifted to the Samajwadi Party to the extent that they did or trusted it. No doubt about that. But UP, apart from this alliance, it was the organization of the Samajwadi Party that was seen on the ground everywhere. Congress doesn't have the organization. The Congress will have to, Mr. Chidambaram is absolutely right, will have to knuckle down to just simple, unglamorous hard work to build their organization. Are they prepared to do it? Well, hopefully they are prepared to do it. But there is an additional factor in Uttar Pradesh which I don't think we have yet fully unpacked. And that is the pushback that came from within the BJP RSS system to give a jolt to Narendra Modi and his team.
Yeah.
That also was a factor.
So let's end with that. What are the things you will look out for in the next 6 months in both parties?
I think, once the people have had their, as I say, the brass is out. And if the Prime Minister, will he stoop to conquer? Will he reach out to people in a new way? Will he make a coalition government work very successfully? And that includes reaching out to the opposition. Because it's a new situation, you cannot handle it the old way. And there is, flexibility and reaching out to people need not be a sign of weakness. It can actually be a sign of an inherent strength. To take everybody along, to make things work, it's a sign of strength. And will the Prime Minister show this? Remains to be seen. Will Rahul Gandhi again show wisdom, statesmanship, reaching out to other people in also a very new way, different way from the way he's been in the past? That also remains to be seen.
So those are the two big questions we leave our audience with today. Neerja, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And talk
Thank
to you
you.
again soon. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Barkha.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.